Okay. So the moment you can see my screen, what you would just do for me is we're going to make today's teaching very simple, basic, and straight to the point. Remember, I said we're going to have a part 2 tomorrow by God's grace. The part 2 will be much more intensive, okay? To be intense. So, but today we'll just kind of like set the basics. All right, so the first thing you want to do is literally, so I was talking about Vibrata, which is web analyzer. So Vibrata is actually one of the tools and products that the Academy offers for us to literally maximize it and make profits in a nutshell. In Vibrata, we have many strategies that can be used to make, to make profits, many strategies. However, what we'll be dwelling on is just the London payout strategy for today, because the London payout strategy is like the easiest to work with, right? Because you don't need a lot of analysis. But for the most part of the rest strategies that are on Vibrata, right, we are literally going to be logging into Vibrata app itself, and then we would also analyze how to now literally take a trade from the other strategies that we do have, okay? But for tonight's training, I'll just talk on London payouts, because if we were to talk on all the strategies, we would not be able to exhaust the time that we do have, which is just a window of, I think, the next 30 minutes we should be done, and then I would take questions on this particular product called Vibrata Web Analyzer. So there are two means, or there are two ways to get signals from the Vibrata. The first one is to either come on the site itself, or you have to join the Telegram group. All right. So these trade ideas that I'm going to be showing you guys are not even posted on our Signal group yet. We don't post them yet. So you see all the signals that you get on that WhatsApp Signal group is not all that there is. There's much more to it than all that you see. So you want to join the Telegram group. For that, let me just share my screen to show you what the Telegram group is like. I'll share another screen to show you what the Telegram looks like. So the moment you can see that one, just let me know. So I'll start with the Telegram group. Please, if you can see my screen, just put 777 on the chat box. If you can see my screen, put 777 on the chat box. So the moment you come, the moment you join IM, right? You want to make sure you are on this particular Telegram group. It's called Web Analyzer. It is called Web Analyzer. It's usually one of the links that's sent to students. Let me see. It's one of the links that's sent to students. Just 1 minute. So let me see FRX, for example. So if you do not have that, then you want to ask your coach. So you see Web Analyzer channel, right? It's one of the links that's sent. Sometimes some of you, you are being sent this when you join, but most of you do not. Do you know that these other ones are also money-making apps? All of these things are the different means to make money in IM Academy. You can literally count them. There's one, Pro Pack, which is a combination of different things. There's Levels, that's 1, Harmonics 2, Web Analyzer 3, Steady 4, Delirium 5, Good Cop 6, Bounce Back 7, right? This London payouts can also, you can choose to have that on its own, but it's actually on the Web Analyzer. Then you now have the HFX and then the crypto. So you can see that just for Forex alone, I had said 5, I had said 6, but literally it is even 7. Could you paste it here? But literally it's actually 7 means or even more, because even in Web Analyzer, there are many means in there, not just one, right? There's so many strategies that can be used. So you see that saying that it's 6 is actually even not correct. So with Web Analyzer, for example, you can just go there and it brings you to the Telegram group, which I'm already a part of. Let me see that of London Payout, for example. Let me see. Okay, London Payout. I'm not even on this one, so let me join this. So this is only for London Payouts, which is a subset or one of the strategies that we do have in Web Analyzer. So let's just stick with Web Analyzer. I will share this right now on the group. So every single one of you, you want to make sure that you click on it and you join it immediately. Okay, that's your money making app there. You can also share on every other platform that probably I didn't share on. So now this is it. So the notifications will come like this. Sorry, the notification will come like this, right? Index infusion alerts. So index infusion is also one of the strategies. Then we have London payout alerts. Then we have, let me see, there are different one, index infusion again, index infusion. So by the side of it, it will write the name of the educator, right? This is Bill, this is Sharif. London payout is always by Cathy, Dr. Cathy, right? She's a pastor actually, and a wonderful educator. Then you see different ones. The moment it comes, you get a notification here on your Telegram, right? And then from here, it directs you to the website itself. So for example, London payouts, Cathy says that there is a notification, right? So what you're supposed to do now is to click this imlwebanalyzer.com. It takes you then to the website, and then you impute your login details, your login credentials, and then it takes you to the actual trade idea that was called on London Payouts. All right. So by the time you impute your login details, it will take you back to what we were showing initially. Guys, if you've understood up to this point, could you just put 2s for me on the chat box? If you've understood up to this point, please just put 2s for me on the chat box. So I'm going to be sharing my second screen so that we can now proceed from there. So everyone, try and join that Telegram group like ASAP. Try and join the Telegram group right now. Yes, so we're back to this. So the moment you do that, the moment you are able to log in, sign in, right? Then you see this. For some, it might be a home button, might be home, and then, but you'll be able to see this panel, right? You'll be able to see this panel by the side. And once you've seen this panel by the side, these are the various, these are where you can get the various trade ideas, right? For either index infusion, you know, for London payout and the rest of them. But I must also tell you guys that it is not all the trade ideas that you have access to. There are some of them you've got to pay for it, literally. And it costs probably like just maybe $10 or so as an add-on from your back office, right? You can literally pay for it. If there's a particular if there's a particular tool you don't have access to, you can easily just get it from your back office as an add-on. So this, for example, when you click on this, this tells you all the trade ideas that have literally come in. Who is unmuted? Okay, this is how it tells you all the trade ideas that have literally come in, right? You want to tick all of this so that it shows you on the 15 minutes, on the 5 minutes, on the 1 hour, on the 4 hours time frame. So all of these are literally Forex, right? So now Holy says, I'm thinking about a buy. This is literally how it will come up. I'm thinking about a buy on AUD card around test on TF M15. So the TF is the time frame. It says 15 minutes potential profit points, and then it says risks. That is take profit 1, take profit 2, and then stop loss. Now it doesn't give you. So now Vibrata ideally is to help you identify entry points in the market. Vibrata on its own ideally is just to help you identify entry points in the market. It doesn't literally tell you your take profit 1, 2, or 3. Right? It doesn't tell you your take profit 1, 2, or 3. That's Vibrata as a whole in general. It only tells you that, okay, this is what I'm looking at. And then you have to now go into that particular market and literally now determine your stop loss and your take profit. This is why I said that anyone that has to join tonight's class must have gone through the previous teaching on basics of Forex, because that would give you a good understanding on how to take your stop loss and how to take your take profits, right? So because most times in Vibrata, They don't give you the stop loss or the take profit. You determine that. Now, in tomorrow's class, I will be teaching on how to determine your take profit, how to determine your stop loss, how to determine your exact entry point. I said the word exact because here in Vibrata, they'll just tell you an entry point to just look at, but on that's tomorrow's class, I'll be teaching you on how to now know the exact entry points to look out for and the stop loss you should work with and the take profit that you could work with in all of these trade ideas that are being called. But each of these, as you see here, is actually a trade idea that is being called by the various educators. You can see as well, and then it tells you the pair, and then it tells you also the time it was called. It tells you the action you should take, which is a buy. Okay, but now let me just take you to London Payout, because for example, it tells me that I don't have access to it. So for this one, for example, this particular strategy, I have to literally pay for it. And then you have, let me see, but the London Payout one would have access to that. So this is London Payout. All right, it says London Payout. So London Payout is much easier to follow through, because on London Payout, Dr. Cathy gives you not only the entry point, but also your exit point. So it tells you your stop loss. She tells you your take profit. So Dr. Cathy says, I'm thinking about a buy on. So these are indices. So Dr. Cathy calls trades on indices. Now, if you want to know where do you find your indices, it's very simple. When you open your MetaTrader 4, you just click on add currency, just like how you want to add a new currency pair. And then from there, you can literally search out indices, click on that, and then you can put GR30, for example. Indices requires you to have enough capital in your broker. You need to have enough capital. If you want to trade indices, then you need to have like $250 upwards, right, to trade it. And you have to be very careful of indices, because the way you can make money in just a split second is the same way you can lose money in just a split second with indices. So you want to be careful with your lot size when you are trading indices. I think I was telling one of my mentees, that was this week earlier, she traded indices, and she was able to get a lesson from me because she didn't understand how to trade indices. So these are things that will become known to you as you keep joining all of these classes, right? It's not just one class that will make you a billionaire. It's anyone who told you that is a liar, right? You have to keep learning, keep joining them. And the more you learn, the more or the better results that you get. So for example, she says, I'm thinking about a buy on GR30 around. So she gives you the entry point 12855.20. And she says she saw this idea on a 1 hour time frame, right? And then she says the type is market execution, and you know that market execution is that immediate kind of entry right now. It's not a pending order, it's an immediate order. So she's saying I'm looking at an immediate order, right, at so amount, right? And then she says your take profit should be this 129. I hope you guys can see my screen well. If you cannot, let me know. Let me see. Okay, I've just increased it. It should be better, right? Can you guys see? Okay, all right. So she says again, thinking about a buy. So we're looking at a buy option, GR30 around this on 1 hour time frame, and then she says your take profit should be this, and then your TP2 as well, TP3. You can decide all of that by yourself. Then she gives you the stop loss to be this, and this was the time it was called. So you can see the time there, Tuesday, 8th March. So this was today, right? So you want to look at all this as well. And then she calls another one again. This was still today. So just today alone, see how many, only one person has called this trade. 1, 2, 8, this is still 8, 3, this is 8th March. This is another one, 4, this is still 8th March. This is another one, 5, this is still 8th March. This is another one. Okay, so this was not 8th March, so 3rd March. So just in one day, she was able to call 5 different trades, guys, 5 different trades just today. And I'm sure for some of you, you're not aware of these trades that probably came in, right? So this is how London Payout literally works. And you want to probably maximize it. That's London, but you have to pay for London Payout, even if you are an elite. It costs, I think, $10. But if you're on elite, you also have access to other guys, other educators, okay, for Tor, you have to pay for that one. This one, I think that's original. This opens as well, right? So this one says, I'm looking at a buy, NZD/USD around 0.68183, right? So it gives you the entry. Remember, I told you that Vibrata would tell you a possible entry, but you also have to now set your stop loss. That's for most of them. It's only London Payout that doesn't tell you, that actually gives you the stop loss and the take profit. But for every other one, you have to literally determine your stop loss and take profit, which I said in tomorrow's class, I'll be taking that, right? I just wanted to give you like just the basics of what Vibrata is, just to give you just that run around, you know, or run down on what it looks like. And then tomorrow we'll go into the much more complex things where we would now literally have to now, you know, look into the graph proper and see how do we set our stop loss, how do we set our take profit so quickly that we'll be able to cash in, you know, and cash out. So now he's it says NZD/USD around 0.68183 on the 15 minutes time frame, and then this is the time it was called. That's all you see, right? That's all you see. So tomorrow I'll be explaining on every other strategy that you have or we've got. But for tonight, London Payout, you don't need to crack your brain, don't need to do anything. All you've got to just do is copy and paste it, as simple as that. So this one as well. So all of this was today. So this 8 March is another GBP/USD 8 March as well. GBP/USD for a sell. This is the price. This is another one as well, 8 March as well. That was about 13 hours ago. This is also another one. This is also 8 March. This is not London Payout. This is a different person. So this is another one again, right? This is still 8 March as well. 8 March as well. There's another one, 8 March as well. So you guys, you can literally see for yourself how many trades that you, and this is 7th March, this is another 8 March, how many trades that you probably did not take in a day. This is just, I've just shown you 2 persons now, just 2 persons. And if you're on a lead package, you have full access to this. You have full access to this. Some of you are on a lead package and you really do not know that you have multiple streams of making income and you're just focusing on just one area, maybe just levels on that Forex or just HFX, you know, but this is also another means to make a lot of money. Let me show you another one. Again, this is Hyper Scalper. This is Hyper Scalper as well. Let me increase this. I'm coming. 1 minute. Okay, so Hyper Scalper, the last time this trade idea was called was since last year, so probably it's not active at the moment because I mean last year is a whole lot of time. So 2021, this would have been I think 5th July or so, 5th July. So we would just jump this one, right? And then the last one is, okay, the last one you've got to pay for it. So if you're on a lead package, at least you have access to the original to make money out of that. And then you have access to, I mean, London Payout, you have to pay for it though. So we jump that one. This other one, you have to pay for it, but you have access to London Payout if it's being paid for. And all with this, you can literally make a lot of trades with at least 85% profitability at the end of the trades. Right, so guys, if this makes sense, and I mean you've understood thus far, this is very simple, basic, and straight to the point. Please just put some 3s for me in the chat box. If this makes sense and you've understood thus far, just put 3s. And then I just want to ask a random question. How many of you knew about this before now? You knew about this before now? Just put 2s. If you didn't know about this before now, please put 9. If you knew about this before now, you knew about Vibrata and Web Analyzer and how to make money and you have been using it, please put 2s. If this is your first time of hearing this, that there's something like this that exists in the academy, please put 9. If this is your first time of hearing about this, that there's something like this that exists in the academy, please put 9. If this is your first time of knowing about all of these things, put 9s. Seeing all this, the London Payout and the rest, please put 9. If you've heard of it before, please put 2s. Let me see, I'm going into the chat box now. I can actually guess the number of persons that will tell me 2s because I do know them. Okay. Okay. What is 334? Okay, it's true. I don't know what is 334.
Sorry, so, I was trying to put 333 that I understand, but it's 4. I know basically press 4.
Okay. So guys, the question is, if you knew how to use it, not just that there's something called Vibrata, you knew how to use that, then I know that you do know how to use it. But if you knew how to use it, not just like there's a word like Vibrata, but you knew how to use it, please also put 2. But if you didn't know how to use it, you are on the 9 categories. And I can see we have a lot of 9s. The 9s have got it. So guys, this is basically how you make money in simple terms using Vibrata. Now, tomorrow's class is going to be much more intense, because with this class, right, you'll probably just be able to take trades off London Payout, because London Payout has literally given you the trade idea as well as the take profit and the stop loss. But in tomorrow's class, we'll be looking at so many other strategies and how you can literally take out the take profits on your own. So something like this, for example, let me show you. Where's that? Something like okay, just 1 minute. Something like, not hyper scalper. Hyper scalper is, yeah, something like original, for example, something like this, right? How you can determine your take profit and then put your stop loss by yourself and literally allow the trade play out. So that will be taught tomorrow. But in today's class, just the simple basics and you're good to go. Guys, do you have any questions for me? I want to take questions now and prepare yourself. So please, I'm announcing again, do not miss tomorrow's class. I've just shown you only one way, but there are several ways that you can, make money off Vibrata. I've just shown you one, which is the London Payout, but there are several ways you can make money off Vibrata. I'm begging again, I'm advising again, do not miss tomorrow's class, because that will be much more intense. And make sure you have at least an hour for tomorrow's class, okay? Make sure you have at least an hour. If we were to take tomorrow's class today, then we literally need like 2 hours in this class, which I wasn't emphasizing. Like, I wouldn't want that for most of you. So please prepare for tomorrow's class. Come with your pens and book to literally see how we are able to take a trade idea of the other parts of Vibrata. So yeah, anyone with any question, if you've not got it, okay, I see someone's hand is up. Okay, so let me just take you quickly. So yeah, you can go ahead with your question. I think you can unmute. I've seen, or maybe you can even type out your question. Maybe that might be easier. Someone says send it. Okay. Well, this class is very easy. I'll still send the recording so that you have like an overview. Can one use this for HFX? No, this has nothing to do with HFX. This is all Forex, right? And you can also use Vibrata for DCX to an extent. So yeah, but it's mainly for Forex, right? It's mainly for Forex. I want to ask, is it that we don't lose trades in this Vibrata? Is there anything that you don't lose trades on? That's why we always say it's 85% profitability, right? So it's always going to be 85%. All the trades ideas that are being called by IM is always 85% profitability. So the remaining 15% are lessons to be learned, right? By both the educator and maybe yourself. But 85% of the trades that are being called are going to always be in profits. So that means in every 10 trades, I expect 7 to 8 of those trades to literally be in profit. So if we have 10 trades here, 7 to 8 of them will ideally be in profit. So I hope that makes sense for you. Someone says the page on your screen, did you get there from the link on Telegram? Yes, I did. But tomorrow I'll be literally opening the Vibrata tool itself. This is the web page. I'll be opening the tool. In that tool, you literally be able to analyze the market from there. Okay, that's called the Vibrata tool, right? So, but this one is called IML Web Analyzer. But tomorrow I'll be opening the Vibrata tool itself. So we have to buy it too, right? Which of them? If you're on a elite package, you have access to Vibrata. It's just that you don't have access to London Payout and some other ones that you've got to pay for, right? But you have access to the Vibrata tool, which I'll be using tomorrow. So you can as well from there, even without paying a dime, if you're on an elite package, use that to make profits. And then for London Payout, you've got to buy $10. And if you're on any other package excluding Elite, maybe on HFX or Forex, and you're like, I like to be a part of this as well, I think you could literally as well buy Vibrata on, it's called Web Analyzer actually, on the back office. And I think, I don't know, I'm not sure, but I think it goes for maybe $20-something as well. I'm not sure, but you can check it, right? So regardless of the package you are in, guys, you can literally just get a particular package and get add-ons, depending on the one you want to use to make quick money, right? And get there, and that can help you. Someone says, do you advise that we take all trade ideas to be able to make 35% profit? Yes, I advise that. I tell my mentees, take as many trades as possible. Take as many trades as possible. But while you're taking the trades, there are two things you might want to consider: your account size, okay, and your leverage size. So this is why I use a leverage size of 1:500 personally, so that I have the capacity or the buying power to literally take multiple trades, right? Not just one, not just two. And also remember that your leverage size is dependent on your account size. So guys, you want to go back to the video on basics of Forex that I taught on, so that way you know your capital to use and how many trades you can literally enter. For some people, I might be able to take up to 10 trades in my account, but the other person might just be able to take 2 trades. And with the 10 trades, maybe out of those 10 trades, 8 played out positively. I've actually made a lot of money. And maybe you that took just 2 trades, the 2 you took were the ones that happened to be the losses, right? Or the lessons, and you end up crying. So you see, that's why I always tell people, Forex requires money. Have enough money in your account and use a good leverage size. And make sure you always calculate your profits in dollars, not just in peeps. Calculate it in dollars. Calculate your possible loss as well in dollars, and you're good to go. The account size could be the problem. Yes. So yeah, Coach Rebecca says the exact same thing. So yeah, the account size is what might be the issue for you. But you want to take as many trades as possible, not just 1 or 2. You want to take as many trades as possible. And then you could, of course, mix them. If you're on a lead, you could take a bit of Forex, a bit of DCX, and yeah, you're good to go. Tatiana says, I have a question. Please shoot. Any other question from anybody?
Yeah, can I talk?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, like today on the Signal group, we received a whole lot of signals on trade ideas. Is it a good idea to take those trades, those pending trades? How do you verify them that they are valid or not? Do we just take them blindly?
Okay, so let me stop sharing my screen here and show you and go to WhatsApp and share the Signal group, just so that others can follow through in what you are saying. All right, so this is the Trailblazer Signal group. Most of you are on it. If you have an active account, and I'm aware that there's a Game Shaker Signal group. So if you're not on Trailblazer, then possibly you are on Game Shaker Signal group. Those on Blaze Nation, you are here if you have an active account. So just to give more context to what Tatiana was saying. Now let's see a trade idea. This is literally how, and by the way, guys, you need to always appreciate your coaches, because frankly speaking, they're not being paid to literally post these signals here. These signals, you have access to it directly, but they just do this to help everyone, because most people know how to use WhatsApp. They are cool with WhatsApp, and some people probably are just too lazy to log into the different apps and get the trades by themselves. So when you see this being done, you really want to always appreciate them, and you appreciate them by taking the signals. All right, so now this, for example, Euro GBP, buy by market intraday. So your question is, how do we know which trades to take and which one not to take all the time? So I'll come from 2 angles. The first being that once a trade idea comes in, right? I used to say that for people, trading should not be a lazy man's job, because you're not making free money. You have to put some form of work into what you're doing, right? That way you're not gambling. So if I see a trade like this Euro GBP that comes in buy by market, I want to quickly at that moment go to where the trade idea was gotten from, to literally see where the price is at, because this trade probably has left where it is. It says entry price 0.8282820, right? And then it gives you a stop loss and your take profit. But it is also possible that this trade has actually left this entry point or entry price. So I want to first of all go to where the trade was gotten from, right? And literally now this is from swipes, right? Swipe trade. So I literally now see, so probably you want to now go into your MetaTrader and then open this particular trade idea, Euro GBP, and literally see where's the market at that very moment, right? And if it's a case of levels, then you go on levels and literally also check where's the market at that very moment and determine if it's actually still a good trade to enter. If you guys have not watched my class on levels, you want to do that, because during that class, I explained what trades are still valid and what trades are not valid. How do you know when to enter a trade that has already gone? This is where you really want to put a pending order. But there are also some trades that I would enter and literally scalp. I know the trade has gone, but I will still enter that trade and scalp and make mad profits. I've done it. I love to scalp all the time. I don't like to just take trades and let it play out. I love to scalp. So I could still scalp a trade if it has gone, but you must already know how to scalp. Do not scalp when you don't know how to scalp. And to scalp, you need a good amount size in terms of your account. It has got to be large to be able to scalp effectively. If not, you'll be scalping and you just be losing instead of making profits, right? So we would have a class as well on scalping in some weeks to come. We should have a class on scalping, and during which most of you will be able to know how to scalp better. So you want to see where is the price at. But if you're not scalping, you're doing intraday trading, right? Swing trade, then you want to literally look at where the price is at and the entry price that was given to you, and then know whether this trade is still valid or not. Okay, it is possible a trade was caught 5 hours ago and is still valid. It is very possible, because with Forex, with intraday trading, it requires time. The idea could play out within 30 minutes. It could play out within 1 hour. Like you see this one now, it says TP1 already hit. And that was after about how many hours? 7, 8, 9, after about 2 hours. It is also possible that TP1 could have taken like 8 hours to hit. It is also possible that TP1 could take a day to hit. Like that's Forex for you. So it all depends. All right. So I don't know if that answers your question. So with this, you're able to tell which trades to still jump on and which trade not to jump on. Okay, and then for those who are market analyzers by themselves, you know how to analyze the market. You're good. I always tell my mentees, don't bother for Forex. Don't try to analyze, right? Because it takes a lot. Now, you can't use your style of HFX analysis to do Forex analysis. I mean, the idea is still the same. But the difference is that on HFX, you're analyzing under a 15 minutes or 5 minutes window. With Forex, you're analyzing under a day, 2 days, 1 month, weeks. You're not analyzing under 5 minutes. You're going to be tracking what has happened in the past 24 hours on this particular currency. What has happened in the past 2 days on this particular currency, which has been showing a consistency, which has not. You begin to look at all of that and say, okay, I think this particular trade, GPNZD, they're calling it for a sell. No, I don't think it's going to be a sell. I think it's going to be a buy. No, it can't be a sell. No. From what I've seen thus far, see the way now, see the curve. Oh, no, this is repeating itself again. You know, you can now analyze and say, okay, I don't want to enter this sell limit because I think this will not play out. And you say, okay, I want to enter this Euro GBP instead for a sell. So these are people who already know how to analyze the market by themselves. So once a trade idea is given, then they're able to now tell, is it worth it? Is it not worth it? Another thing you want to take account, I do personally, is I always calculate my pips in profits, right? So if a trade, this is what I used to know whether I should take a trade or not as well. So if a trade comes in, Euro GBP, I look at the take profits. I taught how to also calculate pips. So guys, you should know that. I literally calculate what is the pips from, because they always say at least you should have at least 10 pips made. And once you have 10 pips made, that's okay, literally. You can do the calculation in dollars yourself. So you can, if I calculate my pips from entry 1, if I saw it early, to take profit 1, if that particular entry or the number of pips, right, is times 3, guys, if it's times 3 or times 2 at least of my stop loss that is given to me, then I would enter the trade the way it is. If it is not, then I will modify this particular trade to suit what I do want. It is not proper to say that you enter a trade and you set a TP1. I think I've told some people before, I do not know if it was a class, but I was explaining that when the educator gives this trade idea, the educator gives this trade idea with hope that this trade would hit, not with hope, but with assurance that this trade would likely hit TP3. And so he calculates his stop loss according to the entirety of the trade, not just according to take profit one. So the mistake that most of you do is that you don't think from that angle, and you literally will take this trade TP1, which our advice is good to take TP1s instead, because it is easier for the market to hit TP1 than even TP3. So you will take TP1 and you will still go with the same stop loss that is here, not knowing that this stop loss was calculated in taking into cognizance our TP3. And so if you will not calculate the pips difference, when you use TP3, calculate the pips, and use stop loss to entry, calculate the pips, you will literally see that our TP3 is like ×4 ×5 of the pips from entry point 1 to stop loss. I don't know if this is too much for some of you to understand, but this is how I tell people, even if it's copy and paste, don't just be a dummy and just copy and paste without having to know some basics that are quite important to help you become profitable, because each of these things can determine whether your trade will move in massive profit or in massive loss, which becomes a lesson. All right. So I will literally, if I'm taking just take profit one, I will literally have to edit my stop loss to suit my take profit one. I hope that makes sense. If the stop loss already suits the take profit one, if I calculate the pips, then I will go ahead and take the trade. But if it does not, I will edit my stop loss. That's why some of you will see you're entering trades, and literally the profit you can make from that trade is maybe just $10 or $20, but the loss you can make is up to $80. That's not wisdom. It's not wisdom at all. You are literally saying that, okay, you are gambling $80 to just make $20. That's what you're doing. You are gambling $80 to just make $20. And so if that trade goes south, if that trade happens to be your lesson, you've lost a lot. So that's why you must know how to calculate your stop loss in dollars and literally modify it. Except you want to go with TP3, then you are fine. You can just enter the trade the way it is without editing anything. You just take a copy and paste it. But if you're not going to go with TP3, you're going with TP1 or TP2, you want to calculate your pips in profit and your pips in loss and know, is this worth it? If it's not, then you edit your stop loss. Or you can go to another trade, or you change to TP3 or TP2. If that makes sense, if you've understood what I've just said, please just put some 6 for me on the chat box. If you've understood what I just said, put 6 for me on the chat box. If that makes sense for you, you understood what I said, put 6 on the chat box. And trust me, by the time you have watched the video I sent on peeps and all that, you've watched it severally, you might not get what once. You want to like watch that video over and over and over again. The moment you've done that, right, you'll be able to do all these things within a second. It looks like, oh, it's a lot of things. I have to calculate this. But I thought it says it's just copy and paste. I get that. But the moment you are used to it, trust me, it won't take you up to even 5 minutes to do your simple calculation and get into that trade. The reason why it looks like it's difficult is because you haven't watched the video over and over again. For me, it took me up to 3 months before I really understood peeps and lot size and leverage. It took me up to 3 months. Trust me. So it is okay to realize that you're still not getting it. Give yourself time. Don't put a lot of pressure. While you're at it, you can use your demo account. And then as well, the moment you are confident, in fact, I am advises that one practice with their demo account for a minimum of 1 month, 30 days. Or if not 30 days, if you want to do yours in less, the moment you are confident in your trades, you are like, oh, I get this very well, then you can jump on your live account. This is why I tell almost all my mentees, I must see your demo account for consistency's sake for at least 1 week. Your account, I must see your trades full 1 week, and I must see consistency. If I don't see consistency, then you have to keep learning what you need to learn. Okay, so then afterwards, you yourself, you are proud of yourself. Me too, I'm proud of you. Then you can jump into live account, repeat the same success, and then It's not a big deal to make $5,000 in a day. People do it. It's not anything. But what is most important is to get the knowledge that is required so that you don't lose the money that you already have. Okay. So guys, that's basically that. Any other question from anybody? Any other questions? Please, how can I get the videos, coach? What videos exactly? Thank you so much for the upcoming scalping training. Yes, we would have a scalping training. I think a lot of people have been asking for scalping training. We would have that. It's just that for us to do a scalping training, at least most people need to know the basics first, because I don't see why a beginner should already start scalping, because it's easy to scalp, but then it requires a bit of understanding on the Forex market and how it works. Because if I want to scalp, I have to check so many parameters as well, right? I have to check so many things, and then you have to give your 100% into scalping. You can't be scalping and be multitasking. No, like you can't just do it and be do not know it. You're trying to enter the market and take very quick trades, right? Very quick trades like you do in HFX, for example. All right, guys, any other question from anybody? Any other question? Any other question? Any other question? How to count your peeps and adjust your stop loss to suit your, I don't get that. But yes, if you don't know how to count your peeps, it's very simple. The video, okay, to TP1. Yes, that video I'm talking about, please go and watch it. Guys, could you help me post that video again on the groups? I posted it before this particular class, but please help post it again. And then also post the video on levels. I did a video on levels, copy and paste. I also explained, I think I explained why you should always go with TP1 and not the rest, take profits. And I don't know if I explained this particular question that has been asked, but you could actually count your pips to suit your stop loss. So you want to always do something like 1:3. I don't know if most of you have heard Coach Ismail. He once on the group posted that whenever he takes trades, he's always doing 1:3. What does 1:3 mean? It simply means that your take profit should be 3 times your stop loss. So when you calculate your stop loss in pips, your take profit should be times 3 of that number of pips. So if my stop loss is about, say, 20, my take profit should be like 60. If my take profit is like 60, then my stop loss should be like 20 in pips. I'm not talking about in dollars. Do you get? And vice versa. If it's 10, the same thing, right? Times 3. So I'm looking at a take profit one of, let's say, 30 pips, right? So if it's 5, my stop line, then your stop loss for 5 is actually very low. When you're doing stop loss, you want to work with pips with like, say, 10 upwards, right? But once you calculate this in dollars, you can be able to tell how much you're willing to risk and how much you are willing to, make in terms of profits. Yes, I'm speaking from entry points. Yes, I'm speaking from entry points. So entry points to take profit and entry points to stop loss. Calculate it in pips. It has got to be 1:3. 1:2 also works, but that's like saying you're trying to risk $20 to make $40. For some people that works, but yeah, for me, I would like to risk $20 to make $60. All right. So this is very crucial, very, very important when you are trying to take your take. And then this thing I'm saying also is very needful for tomorrow's class, because then we will literally have to set our own take profit and our own stop loss on the trades. All right. Any other question on anything as it regards this or any other stuff? Just also to announce, let me stop the recording.